Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining. Sunil here. Can you hear me? Please confirm in the chat box. Thank you. Thank you for your responses. Thank you. Let's stop the chat so that we can focus on this new tool called as DevOps. Okay. So what's our agenda for today's session? We'll understand what is Docker, new tool called Docker. I'm sorry. We'll understand what is Docker. Docker is a containerization tool. We'll compare how exactly containerization is next level to virtualization. How is it advanced than virtualization? Advantages of containerization, installing Docker. We'll learn how can we install this Docker, and then we'll also go, should be comfortable with these terminologies. What is Docker image? What is Docker container? What is Docker host? And what is Docker client? So this is our plan for our today's session. So before getting into the practicals of today's session, so as usual, let's have an interaction. This time with Amol Ketan.
Yeah, hi Sunil.
Yeah, Amol.
Yeah, so I have gone through all the videos and the trainings till now. It's very good. I'm able to perform
Thank you.
all the activities and
Thank you very much.
gaining confidence in DevOps.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you very much. Any technical questions?
No, Sunil. Not,
Okay.
no.
Thank you, Amol. You are from which location?
Pune.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get into the concept of Docker. If anybody asks you what is Docker, if anybody asks you what is Docker, okay, we already have learned. If anybody asks you what is Git, you know the answer. Git is a version controlling as well as source code management tool. So if anybody asks you what is Maven, we already have discussed it is a build tool. What is Jenkins? We know it's a CI/CD tool. So first we should understand the main important statement. What is Docker? So Docker is a containerization tool. Docker is a containerization tool. Okay. Obviously, next question is what is containerization? The next question, what comes to your mind is what is containerization? Okay. Now, the concept of containerization is advanced concepts to virtualization. To understand containerization, let's have a quick understanding about virtualization. To understand this Docker, and Docker is a containerization tool. So to understand this containerization tool, so first you have to compare with virtualization. So I want to discuss about first virtualization tool, how exactly the virtualization tool will work, and then we'll discuss in with respect to virtualization how containerization is advanced to virtualization. Look at this. Virtualization with respect to containerization. In virtualization, how exactly the virtualization works. I hope most of you are already having exposure definitely towards virtualization. The first thing what you have is a hardware layer. Okay. And then we install operating system. Let's say in our example, let's say my hardware layer is nothing but laptop. So to run that hardware, we have an operating system. Operating system, let's say in our case, it is Windows 10 in my case. On top of Windows 10, I have installed VMware. You know that. You can see I have Windows 10 operating system. On top of Windows 10, you can see VMware. Is a software which is installed inside the Windows 10. Inside VMware, you have Red Hat Linux. Okay. So you can see here what is running a Linux operating system is Red Hat Linux. We have VM machine. So you can create n number of virtual machines. You can create a Linux machine. You can create an Ubuntu. You can create a Windows. You can create Solaris. Whatever you want, you can create it. So these are all operating systems. So virtual machine on top of virtual machine, you can run an operating system. Example, you have a Linux machine. On top of Linux, if you want the required application to run, you can do that. You can install Tomcat on Linux. This is the actual application. Okay. Am I right? This is how the virtualization works. Okay, so finally, so an application needs an operating system. So you are creating an operating system in the virtualization. On top of it, you are installing the required application as per your designment. So this is how the virtualization works. Am I right? Clear about the virtualization? Any questions, Anuj? Am I clear in explaining how exactly the virtualization works?
Yes, Sunil.
Okay, so we are aware of it, isn't it?
Yes.
So let's say this application can be Tomcat or whatever it is, WebLogic or whatever it could be, Oracle database, whatever you want, you can run it on top of it. Okay.
Correct.
Now,
correct.
if this application needs to access the hardware, needs to consume more RAM. If application is busy, it needs more memory. The application is needs more processor. So the request will go to underlying operating system. That is nothing but the virtual operating system. That is Linux.
Right. Right.
Linux will communicate to the VMware, isn't it? And the VMware will communicate to the actual operating system. That is nothing but Windows 10, and then Windows 10 will consume the hardware. So that's how these many layers it should pass through. Okay.
Correct.
So if you look at the virtualization, there are two operating system layers. Okay. The actual operating system is called as host operating system. The actual operating system which is running the hardware is called as a host operating system. The operating system which is running on virtualization, this is called as guest operating system. So how many operating systems will experience in virtualization? Two operators. One is host, the other one is
guest
operating system. Okay. So here you can see the communication layers, Anuj. So application will communicate to immediate underlying operating system. That is nothing but guest operating system. Guest operating system will pass the input to the VMware. Again, VMware will communicate to operating system, and operating system will communicate to the hardware, isn't it?
Hardware.
So these many number of layers. Because of this, you will find some slow with respect to performance of the application finally, which is running on the virtualization. Okay, that's first point. Second point, we will allocate fixed hardware resources at the virtualization layer, isn't it?
Right.
We allocate fixed hardware resources at the virtual machine. For example, if you can see the virtual machine, when you're creating, my laptop is 8 GB memory. So Anuj, I have allocated 3.9. That is 50% of memory I have allocated to one virtual machine.
Right.
Okay. Two processors I have allocated out of 500 GB hard disk. I have allocated 60 GB of hard disk to this particular machine. So the virtualization layer needs a fixed allocation of hardware resources. Am I right?
Right.
Fixed allocation of hardware resources. So if this application needs more memory, assuming this application needs 6 GB memory, at the Linux level, you have allocated only 4 GB. Okay?
Right.
So even though it needs 6 GB, it's not possible. Okay, you have isolated. Right. Okay, so it maximum uses 4 GB.
4 GB.
So you are allocating fixed hardware resources at the VM layer, virtualization layer. Okay, this means if your memory is 8 GB, so 4 GB, Windows 10 needs minimum 4 GB, isn't it, Anuj?
Right.
The actual operating system needs some RAM. Assuming it is 4 GB RAM, so remaining what we have 4 GB. One we have allocated 4 GB to this Linux machine. If you create one more Linux machine, it will be very, very dead slow, isn't it?
Right.
Agree? So this is how the virtualization works. Now let's learn how exactly containerization works. Okay. As usual, anywhere you need a hardware layer. On top of it, obviously, operating system will be, you need an operating system to run the hardware. In comparison to virtualization, we install containerization tool rather than virtualization tool, that is Docker. Instead of VMware, we'll be installing Docker.
Docker.
Now, the advantage what you get is this final application. Finally, what we need is this final application, isn't it?
Tom, right.
This
Tom,
final application, whichever the what is the final application you want, you can directly run it on Docker. Got it? Are you understanding? So
Correct.
let me create a copy of it. So what you need? So directly you can, the final application, whichever you want, you can directly run it on
Docker.
Docker. That means first point of observation you need to keep in mind, you have eliminated one layer. Which layer you have eliminated? Guest operating system layer you have eliminated.
Guest. Correct.
In case of virtualization, there are two operating system layers. One is host operating system, the other one is guest operating system. Whereas in containerization, there is no scope for guest operating system layer at all. There is no guest operating system layer. There's only one operating system that is called as host operating system. And whatever the applications, what you want, which are running on VMware, that applications you can directly run it on Docker.
Docker.
So as you have removed one layer, you will find the experience with respect to improved performance. Okay, that's first
Correct.
advantage. Second advantage, there is no concept of fixed allocation of hardware resources will be available, should be applied in guest operating system layer. As there is
Right.
no guest operating system, there is no concept of fixed allocation of hardware to either the application nor the Docker. There is no concept of fixed allocation of hardware resources at all.
Correct.
Basing on availability, if the hardware resources are available, the consumption happens. Okay. If it is
Right.
not available, to an extent what is available, it will consume. So there is no concept of fixed allocation of hardware resources. As there is no concept of fixed allocation of hardware resources. Let's say if your memory is 8 GB memory, you can create 10 applications. Okay. Basing on the availability of the resources, they will consume the hardware resources, and you can run n number of applications directly on Docker. These
Docker.
applications which are directly running on Docker are called as containers. These applications which are up and running directly on Dockers are called as what?
Containers.
So the final applications does not need a guest operating system layer. So you have eliminated one dependency on the operating system. So with respect to the final application which is running on VMware, these containers will have a better improved performance. Second point, there is no concept of fixed allocation of resources.
And the OS which is used over here, for example, is applications required Linux. We will be installing directly Linux on the hardware. No need for Windows and all.
You're talking about this one?
Yeah, the operating system. For example, these applications need to be run on Linux. So on top of hardware.
Now these applications, when you say you can say containers. You can use the one containers, right? Anuj?
Right.
These containers runs on process isolation. You have to use these terms in the interview. These containers runs on process isolation. What does that mean? That means these containers are not dependent on operating system. Okay? It is not dependent on operating system. So whether this actual operating system can be Windows or Linux, it does not make any difference for the containers which are running on Docker.
So OS dependency finish.
That advantage is called as process isolation, which is not there in virtualization concept.
There is no dependency of operating system.
There is no dependency of operating system. There are two things which makes containerization next level to virtualization. So in the interview, if they compare, you have to focus on those things. There is first point. In case of virtualization, there is a host operating system as well as guest operating system. Whereas here in containerization, there is no guest operating system. So you have eliminated the guest operating system layer. So that's first important point you need to focus on this. So you find the improved better performance with respect to applications which are directly running on containerization tools like Docker. Point number 2, there is no allocation of fixed hardware resources. Okay, so you cannot restrict the applications to use a specific memory or something like that. So it it runs on process isolation. These are the 2 key points you need to keep in mind. These are the 2 points you need to keep in mind when you're dealing with respect to virtualization. Containerization is far more advanced concepts with respect to virtualization. Okay, clear about this,
Yep.
Anuj?
Yep.
Yes, Naveen.
So good evening, sir.
Evening.
So what is exact the Docker? It's like something operating.
I will see when you see practically.
Okay.
Naveen,
Sure.
as of now, Docker is nothing but an application.
Okay.
Tomcat is an example of an application. Okay.
Okay.
So if you want to Tomcat, what you have to do practically, if you want to install Tomcat on Linux, you have to create one operating virtual machine. On top of virtual machine, you have to install the required application.
Correct.
Whereas in container, there is no concept of this virtualization tool at all.
Yes.
Okay. So directly that final application, what you want, the final application, what the end user wants is called as a container. Naveen. Okay.
Okay.
Container can be Tomcat, container can be Oracle database, container can be MySQL database, any application, final application. Okay, it's called as a container. Anyways, we have not practically seen it. When we start practicals, that will be much more clear, Naveen. So 2 things you need to keep. I hope you have got the advantages of containerization. No fixed allocation of hardware resources. We have removed the dependency on the operating system layer. Containers does not need any operating system. So these are the 2 points you need to focus on that in the interview, Naveen. Okay. So look at the theory.
Yeah. Sure.
Look at the theory. Docker, what is Docker? Your answer is Docker is a containerization tool. Containerization tool is next level to virtualization. In virtualization, what happens, Naveen? We need to allocate fixed hardware at the virtualization level, isn't it? Whereas in containerization, there is no fixed hardware, and containers runs on process isolation. That means dependency on the operating system. So containers, does they need operating system, Naveen?
No.
Can you see? There is no need for operating system. You have this concept is called as process isolation. Look at this, Naveen. Theory is very, very important. And when can you your training, your interview will be very effective only when you use the proper terminology. And when you can use the proper terminology, only when you read couple of times, then only you can use the proper terminology. In comparison to traditional virtualization functionalities of hypervisors, and nothing but traditional virtualization platforms like VMware. VMware is an example of hypervisor. In comparison to traditional virtualization functionalities of hypervisors, Docker containers eliminate the need for separate guest operating system. Okay. So Naveen, Docker containers have eliminated the need for a separate operating system for every new virtual machine. Docker implements a high-level APIs to provide lightweight containers that runs on process isolation. Got it, Naveen?
Yes.
The Docker containers enables rapid development. What is the advantage? It enables rapid development with minimum runtime requirement, because there is no allocation of hardware. Even though your hardware is minimum, but still your application can be running. And it also ensures better management and simplified portability. This helps development and operations team in rapid development of application. How exactly Docker helps in both the teams, we'll see it in practical. Okay.
So this containerization mainly runs based on the hardware level, right? Hardware capacity. I mean to say the applications.
Yes, you're right.
Base OS. I mean the base hardware.
Yes, you're right.
Okay.
The more the hardware, the more number of containers you can create. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Santosh Dasari.
Hi, Sunil.
Yep.
How are you?
I'm doing well, Santosh. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. What is the main purpose of the Docker and why?
What is the main purpose of Docker? In other words, what is the main purpose of a container? In fact, okay, where exactly these containers are used, Dasari. Okay, look at a scenario. A development team is working for a client, Dasari. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say that they're building a web application. Okay. They're building a web application using front-end technology as Python. Okay. And
Okay.
they're using backend technology as is MySQL. Okay. So they're
Okay.
building a particular web application using Python as well as backend as MySQL. Okay. Dasari.
Yeah, that's
Got it?
yes.
Now
Yeah.
the project manager has decided instead of MySQL, they plan for using Oracle as their backend. Okay. They want to
Okay.
test how the behavior of the application instead of MySQL. If they choose Oracle, how exactly the behavior of the application is. Is there any performance improvement with respect to application? So they need a Oracle instance now. Okay. So
Okay.
it is whose responsibility to provide the Oracle instance? Do you think that Python programmers install Oracle and so and so? No. So obviously, development team will shoot an email to
IT team.
operations team, isn't it?
Yeah.
Operations team is nothing but system administrators, database administrators, okay, network administrators. These are highly called as an operations team. So the project manager sends a mail to the operations team, Santosh, saying that we need Oracle, we need a Oracle database 18C version with so and so specification. So could you please provide the required infrastructure so that we can work on our developmental activity? Got it, Santosh? So this will be
Yeah.
the mail given by the develop project leader or whatever it is to the operations team. Okay. Now,
Yes.
assuming the operations team is responding saying that we don't have an Oracle DBA, the skilled resources is not available. Santosh.
Okay.
The
Yeah, I got
organization,
it.
the skilled resource is not available. So we are recruiting it. His joining date is after 2 weeks. So you have to wait for 2 weeks so that the DBA gets joined, and then we provide him the task. Then he'll configure, he will provision the infrastructure, and then he provides the credentials to the development team so that they can develop. So the skilled resources are not available. So in such
Okay.
case, there's a delay, isn't it, Santosh? In such
Yes.
cases, what you can do as a DevOps team, member, you can jump into action and you can provide the Oracle instance as form of a container. Okay, as form of a
Okay.
container. You don't need to learn on Oracle DBA. Okay, to do that. They are it's all about containers is all about infrastructure provisioning. Santosh, using
Okay.
Docker, you will be providing the infrastructure to the development team. If the operations team is not responding, whatever could be the reason, if the skill resources are not available or the infrastructure is whatever it is, you can be in a position to provide the required infrastructure to the development team. How is that possible? By creating a container. How can it be done? So we'll be seeing it soon. Got it, Santosh? So if a development team needs a database, that we can provide them. If development team needs Tomcat, we can provide application database. Whatever you want, you can create it in the form of a container. How it happens technically, we'll see. Once we start practicing, you'll understand, Santosh. Clear about providing the infrastructure on demand. Okay, on demand can be possible using Docker. And
so
these
every container
infrastructure
can have any language.
Every container.
Every container can have any language which is required, maybe either Oracle or Python or Java or anything. Depends on the requirement or depends on the project.
Yes. If a development team needs Oracle, we could provide Oracle as a form of a container. Got it?
Oh, yeah.
Next day, Oracle development team needs MySQL database. You can provide MySQL as form of a container. They want SQL Server. They can provide SQL Server as a container. Got it? They want Tomcat. We can provide Tomcat. They want JBoss. They want a JBoss environment. You can provide them the environment. So it's all about provisioning on demand, and that can be possible only through Docker. Okay, as form of a container. So once we see practicals, Dasari, you'll understand it soon. Okay.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Am I clear? Yeah, thank you. Yes, Gaurav.
Hi, Sunil.
Yep.
Yeah. So is that mean there is a no limit of containers?
Exactly. There is no limit of containers. As there is no limit of containers, you cannot go ahead and create 100 containers with a small memory of 8 GB or something like that. It's not possible, but technically speaking, there's no limit for the containers. You're right. And
Okay.
containers are always ad hoc basis.
Okay.
Containers are always created in a ad hoc basis. You cannot, if on a temporary basis, we are providing the infrastructure. Got it?
Okay. Yeah. And
Gaurav?
yeah. It runs on process isolation really.
It runs on process isolation. You are right. Okay. Because there is no dependency on our operating system. Okay.
Okay.
Clear, Gaurav?
Yeah. Thank you, Sunil.
So Santosh, in continuation discussion we had. So by looking at this
Yeah.
discussion, you have understood that it's all about provisioning the infrastructure. Am I right? As
Yes.
form of a container. So that means this particular infrastructure is on demand and it's on ad hoc basis, isn't it? Just to push
Yeah.
the development team, so the developmental activity rather than waiting team. I hope you know, day one we have discussed development DevOps engineer should help pushing both the teams into should making the work faster so that we can deliver the object faster, isn't it? So that's all what
Yeah.
DevOps needs to do, and we provide them the infrastructure. If operations team is delaying, then we can provide the infrastructure as form of a container in an ad hoc manner. Okay, clear?
Yeah. Okay.
Got it, Santosh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Clear.
Okay, so let's learn more. Okay. So advantages, better management, simplified portability, helps the development of operations team in rapid development of an application. All this are the advantages of containers. Okay. Now, let's learn how can we install Docker. Okay. So this hardware in combination with operating system together is nothing but EC2 machine, isn't it, Santosh? EC2 machine is nothing but the hardware layer
Yeah.
with the operating system. That's nothing but a EC2 machine. So first, let's create a EC2 machine, and then we'll install Docker on that particular EC2 machine.
Docker.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're creating an EC2 machine. So let's do that. I'm sorry. Let's log into AWS. Services EC2 instances. Right now there are no instances, everything is clear. So let's go ahead and create new instance.
Okay.
As usual, I'm going with Ubuntu 18 version, T2 micro instances, 1 GB, only one instance, 8 GB storage. I don't want any restriction. I go with all traffic source as anywhere. Review the details, click on launch, create a new key pair. I'm naming it as Docker with today's date 24. I download the key pair in my desktop Sunil folder. I am downloading the key pair. Scroll down and launch instances. View instances. So on top of this machine, what we do, Santosh, will be installing Docker in it. Is it?
Docker. Yes.
Let's wait for the machine to get started.
Mostly what I have seen, most of the developers download the Docker on the local machines.
Yeah. But at the enterprise level, it always happens on cloud.
Okay.
Connected. Okay. How to install
Yeah.
Docker? If you want to install Docker, the URL is get.docker.com. It's very simple to install Docker. Go to the site, get.docker.com, and this is a script which helps you to quick and easily install. These are the two commands, Santosh, which are required to install Docker. And when you're installing Docker, you should have full control over the operating system. So that is the reason when you're dealing with Docker, always when you're dealing with Docker, always switch to root user. Okay, so because you are dealing with infrastructure provisioning, so you always, as long as you're working with the Docker tool, you always should go work with the root user. And then these are the commands, two commands which you need to execute. I'm picking up the commands and then copying the commands for your reference. So so this will help you to download that get-docker.sh that has been downloaded, and then we are running that particular file. When you run this file, that's it, the Docker will be installed on the EC2 machine.
Okay. So how can we verify that Docker is being installed on
Let's
the...
wait for it to get installed. Then Docker is installed. Santosh. To check whether the Docker is installed or not, docker --- version is the command to check whether the Docker is installed or not. Yeah, you have installed Docker. Perfect. Okay. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
perfect.
So installing of Docker is pretty simple. You need to go to the site, get.docker.com, and these are the two commands. I recommend you after this session, please create a completely new EC2 machine and install Docker on the EC2 machine. Okay. So where are we now? So you now know what is Docker. Docker is a containerization and it is having advantages with respect to virtualization. And then we also have learned how to install Docker. Okay. Now you should be familiar with these terminologies. These terminologies we frequently use in the day-to-day sessions as well as in your work environment. You should be very clear in understanding what is a Docker image, what is Docker container, what is Docker host, and what is Docker client. You should be familiar with these 4 terminologies. Let's make these 4 terminologies simple and clear. You should be comfortable with 4 terms. So, what is Docker image? What is Docker container? What is Docker host? What is Docker client? To start with, I want to explain what is Docker host. Anuj, if you look at the statement, the machine on which Docker is installed is called as Docker host.
Right.
The machine in which the Docker is installed. If you install Docker on your personal laptop is called as Docker host.
Host.
Where did we install Docker?
Docker on the base operating system.
EC2 machine. Agree?
EC2 machine. Right.
We have installed a Docker on the this particular EC2 machine, isn't it? So
Right.
this machine is called as, now you can say it as my Docker host. Okay. The machine on which Docker is installed, that machine is called as what? Docker host. Clear about the Docker host?
Right.
So this term is clear. Next, Docker client. The terminal which is used for running Docker commands. The terminal which is used for running Docker commands is called as Docker client. If you
Client.
want the you know, now we will be running containers in Docker containers, isn't it? If you want to run the containers,
forgot Docker. Can you create Docker
host? You're talking about here?
No. Yeah. On top of EC2.
The machine on which Docker is installed is called as Docker host.
Docker host.
Clear?
Right.
Okay. Now, if you want to deal with Docker, you will be writing some commands. The terminal in which we write the commands is called as Docker client. We will be using this git bash terminal. This is a Docker command. Okay. Where are we running this Docker command? Anuj, we are running this on the client git bash. So this git bash is called as what? Docker client. Docker client is nothing but the terminal. Here our client is git bash. Clear about the Docker client?
No. 1 minute. So this particular EC2 machine, we installed Docker on it. Now for passing commands to Docker, we are using the same EC2 terminal, right?
Which terminal?
Same EC2 terminal. We are on
What is the
EC2,
name of
right?
the terminal? What is the name of the terminal?
Docker host.
What is the name of the terminal?
Git bash.
Yes. So that git
could
bash
be-
is called,
It could be Putty
Putty
also.
also. Putty is called
Right.
Docker client.
Could be.
Whatever the client you are using, it is called as Docker client. You're communicating to Docker using a terminal. The terminal is called as what? Docker client.
Docker
it can
client.
be Putty or it can be git bash. Git bash
Git
is more
bash.
comfortable client. Got it?
Correct.
Okay. And obviously you're pointing to that same EC2 machine. Okay.
Correct.
So 2 terminologies are clear, Anuj?
Right.
Docker host and Docker client.
Client.
Now the most important terminologies. What is Docker image? What is Docker container?
Containers.
Docker image. It is combination of binaries and libraries which are necessary for one software application. Okay. If you need an application, what are these? These are containers. Containers are nothing but the applications which are running on Docker. Applications which are running on Docker. This is one application. This is one application. These applications which are running on Docker are called as what? Called as what?
Containers.
Clear? Now,
Right.
if you want to have a container, if you want to create a container, step 1, what you need to do, you need to download the binaries and libraries related to that particular container. That is
Correct.
called as an image.
Image.
So what is image? Image is nothing but a binaries and libraries which are necessary for one particular software application. So that's called as an image. Once the image comes into running condition, you have to run the image. When the image is coming in, when image is sorry. when image is run. Is there any word called run? Isn't it? Run and run are the past tense, isn't it, Anuj? When
Right.
the image is run, what finally end up is getting a actual application which is up and running. That's called as a container. The final application which is ready to use, up and running, which is ready to use, is called as a container. But if you want to have a container, it's a two-step process. First, what you need to do, download the image, and then what you need to do, run the image, then the container gets created. So the running application is called as a container, and then the software, the binaries and libraries which are required to creating a container is called as an image.
So that means once EC2 machine is created, then Docker is installed over it. And once Docker is installed, we have to go two-step process.
We have to go to.
Two-step. One is Docker images.
I have to
another is-
download. Sorry, please excuse me.
No problem.
1 minute, please.
Yes, sure.
So I'm back. So Anuj, what you said is right. First, we have to download the image, and then you have to run the image so that you will get the container.
So once we run the image, then container
Will be created.
created automatically, or we need to install something.
No, that's it. Automatically it gets created.
So
We'll
that
see.
means a running Docker image is nothing but container.
Yes, you are right. Okay.
Right.
We'll see when you look at the first example, you'll understand how can we create a container. Okay.
So it seems like two, but actually it is one. Docker images installed and running is referred to container.
You're right.
So once we download the Docker images, the provider will be giving everything,
Yes.
binaries, libraries, and
Everything A to Z related to that particular application.
and application as well. Just go deploy it and run it.
Run it,
The
that's
moment
it.
it run, the
Then it
moment
is
it becomes live, it is known as
called as
container.
container, and that is usable. Okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
Understood.
Clear about four terminologies. Any questions?
Perfect. Yep. No.
Any questions, anybody? So you know what is Docker host. Docker host is nothing but the machine in which Docker is installed. Client is nothing but the terminal where we are writing the Docker related commands. If you want a particular application which is running on Docker, that's nothing but called as a container. It's a two-step process. First, you have to download the softwares. That's nothing but binaries and libraries. That is called as an image. Once the image is downloaded, then we run the image so that we get the container. Okay. Next. Let's move on. There are some set of commands that should be you should be very also, so it should be on your fingertips. Don't by heart the commands. There are some very simple commands which you should be comfortable, and you should be on your fingertips. So it's very easy to remember. So I'll make it much more easy. Okay. So let's discuss some commands related to images. Anuj.
Right.
First step, what you have to do is to download the image, isn't it?
Correct.
Can you see Docker? The command is every Docker command starts with the word Docker. That's a very important observation. Okay. Every Docker command starts with the keyword Docker. And if you want to download the image, the command is pull and followed the image name, whichever you mentioned, that image will be downloaded.
Correct.
When you run this Docker pull, whatever the image you mentioned, that image will be downloaded. Clear about how to download the image?
Correct.
Anuj, can you guess what is the command to upload the image?
That instead of pull, we need to push or upload.
Push. That's your right. Docker push is the command if you want to upload the image. Got it? So that's the reason that let's remember meaningfully. So you don't need to by heart about it. In Linux, how to see list of all the files? We have ls command. Okay. Let's say you have downloaded one image. You have downloaded second image. You have downloaded third image. Now you want to see list of images. Docker image ls. to see list of all the
Docker images, right?
That's it. How to see?
Sunil.
Can you guess the command to see list of containers?
Simple. But Docker image is the one which is not running. So when it's running, it becomes container.
Container. If you want to see list of containers, can you guess the
Then
command?
Instead of we'll have to mention container.
That's it. Docker image ls will show list of images. Docker container ls will show list of
Containers running.
Khatam.
Running. Sunil, one point before going.
Hmm.
If I have 5 containers running and 5 different applications, they will be using the same IP address as of the EC2 instance, right?
You're right.
Okay.
Yes, you're right.
Yep. Please proceed, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Because finally, all these are running on one machine only, right? That one machine,
right.
that's nothing but one EC2 machine only.
Right.
Is it interesting, Anuj?
That's very interesting because when I have been seen in WPAR contains different images in AIX. So and different IP addresses as well. So here there is no IP address.
Yes.
It's only using the base machine IP address.
Yes, you are right.
Yep.
Okay. In Linux, how to remove a file? We have RM.
RM.
To remove a file. So here to remove an image, can you guess the command is RMI?
RMI.
Docker RMI stands for remove image and mention the image name that will be removed. That's it.
Correct.
It's pretty simple, Anuj.
And which company gives these things?
Which things?
There must be a company and organization. Which
I will show you. I'll tell you. Don't worry. Slowly, I'll tell you. Okay. How to upload the image? You already know it. Docker push command to upload.
Right.
That's it. How to tag an image? Docker tag is to tag an image. How to build an image? Docker commit is used to build an image. Okay, and Docker build -t to provide a image from the Docker file. How to search for the image? Docker search. How to delete all the images which are not attached to the container? Docker system -a. So these are some set of commands that should be very handy for you when you're dealing with images, Docker images. Okay. Next. Now so you have some. You should be comfortable with some set of commands related to containers. These are commands related to images. These are the coming commands which are related to containers. Docker image ls will to see list of images, and Docker container ls to see list of containers. Okay. A container to list of containers which are running as well as stopped. Container can be in running state. Container can be in a stopped state. This will show you only running containers. You want both running as well as stopped containers. PS-A process to see list of all the containers. To start a container, Docker start. Okay, Anuj.
Right.
To stop a container,
Docker stop.
To restart a container,
restart.
Oh my God, Anuj, you already know this.
The second word keeps changing.
To remove a container, Docker RM is there.
RM.
For remove image, RMI. For container, so just RM. That's it. RM. Okay. You can delete a container which is in running state. -F stands for by force. By forcefully. Oh my God. How do you know, Anuj?
So 15 years working on Linux.
To stop all the containers, not one specific container, to stop all the containers, Docker stop. You need to use something like a nested command, $ and Docker ps-aq. This is the command to stop all the containers.
This is using all Linux command. Simple.
To remove all the stopped containers. This is the command to remove all containers irrespective whether stopped or running. That's it. To see the logs of the container, Docker logs. To see the port of the container, Docker port. To get more information about the container, Docker inspect. To get into a shell of a container, Docker attach. To execute any command inside the container, Docker execute. To create a container from the image. This is the first thing we do it. To create a container. How do you create a container when you run the image? Docker run image name. What's there in it? Very simple. Okay.
To 25 point to execute any command in a container. Okay, yes. Because there are n number of container runnings, we need to specify a particular
which container. So we have discussed some commands related to images. We have discussed some commands related to containers. There's some run command options. I'll just read out. If you don't understand, that's not a problem. IT stands for interactive terminal. If you want to open an interactive terminal inside the container, -, name is to provide a name to a container, -d for detached mode, -e for environment variable, -p for port mapping, -P for manual port mapping, small p for automatic port mapping, -v for attaching volumes, -, volume for shareable volumes, -, network to establish links between the containers, -, link for multi-container architecture, -, memory to specify the maximum amount of RAM to a specific container. So these are some run command options. Okay, so anyways, we'll see all this practically. Okay.
Sunil, sometimes certain applications need to run or go traffic via particular port. So they will be using the port
I'll
of
show
that
you.
EC2
We'll see. Yeah, you should use the port of the EC2 machine. We'll see. That's the reason we have opened all ports. Do you remember in the
all
security
ports.
group?
Right.
Okay. Got it.
So we cannot customize ports as per one application. We need to open all.
Better to open all so that because at the runtime you can decide what are the port you want. and
Will
then
it not
look at it.
compromise security then?
So in such case, we will be opening the port, first change the port and then apply the port here at the container level. Okay.
Okay.
Right now we are connected to Docker host. Isn't it, Anuj?
Right.
Okay. How many images are there right now in our Docker host?
One we have downloaded one.
We already downloaded? Huh?
Right.
Which one?
ls. You simply run ls doc.
Which image we have downloaded? Tell me.
Didn't we run that command
Which command we have run?
in the beginning to download Docker?
Docker -- version. This is the command to download shell script. Okay.
Okay.
This command will download the get-docker.sh and then when you run this docker.sh, the Docker will be installed.
Right.
This is a fresh empty Docker host with no images and no containers.
So this
Right?
is what Docker is running.
Just
This is-
Docker is running.
Just
Yes,
simply
you are right.
Docker.
Okay. So right now, how to see list of images? Anuj, Docker image
Image
ls.
ls.
Are there any images? You are getting only headings. There are
Right.
no images.
No
Are there any
images.
containers?
No. When there is no
Docker
image, how could be
container
container?
ls. There are no containers. Okay. So
Right.
everything is empty. If you want a container,
Sunil, one point. If I download one image and I run it, can I run it only once to get one container, or can I run it two or
if you
three
run two
times?
times, two containers will be created.
So image
Yeah.
will remain as
Image
it
is remains as it is. You are right. Now you are slowly understanding the concept. Okay.
is. Got it.
Okay. Okay. So right now there are no images and there are no containers.
Containers.
Okay. I want to download Tomcat image. Any doubts in the question? Okay. Pretty simple. We want to download the Tomcat image. Okay. Any question in any doubts in the question, Anuj?
Nothing, Sunil.
That's first step. We have to download one image, right?
Right.
Start with an example to experience how exactly we need to create a container. We need to have an image. So I'm downloading what image? Tomcat image. We know Docker pull command is used to download the image, isn't it? Anuj?
Right.
Docker pull followed
Docker
with the
pull.
image name. This will help you to download Tomcat image.
Tomcat image. Tomcat Docker image.
Obviously, it is Docker image. Only. All are Docker images only, is it?
Right.
Am I right?
Right.
See what's happening here. Let's experience pulling. What it is doing, downloading. What it is, look at this. These many MBs is done. Image is nothing but combination of binaries and libraries. So image is getting
Right.
downloaded. That's it. Image is downloaded. If you want to verify how to see list of images, Docker image ls. So you can see one Tomcat image is downloaded. Clear? The image size is 356 MB. Okay.
Right.
I want to download Ubuntu image. Docker pull. Ubuntu is the name of the image. I'm sure most of the participants are having many questions where after running these two commands. Okay. All your questions will be clear. Don't worry at all. Okay. Image is downloaded. So Anuj, how many images till now we have downloaded? How many images we have downloaded till now? We have downloaded 2 images.
2 images.
One is Tomcat, the other one is Ubuntu.
Ubuntu.
I want to download Jenkins, so whatever it is. So these are the images we have downloaded. Okay.
Right.
Now next, we need to run the image. Finally, what you need is a up and running application, is it?
Right.
When you run the image, the container gets created. Okay. Once the container is created, I cannot stop explanation. So I need to continue much more from there. So creating containers out of the image, we will see it from tomorrow session. So today we had exposure towards containerization tool called as Docker. I have provided my Docker. I have Docker host ready with me. So you also please do hands-on, create one EC2 machine. I recommend you to go with Ubuntu. Install Docker on it and then make the Docker host ready. Make yourself comfortable with the Docker environment. Download a couple of images which I have got it from this notes. And then see you tomorrow where we'll learn practically how can we create a application out of the image and how can we access that particular application which is running on the Docker host.
But Sunil, why we downloaded 2 images? Is it
I just
for
want
different
to
purpose?
no, I just want
Okay,
to
sure.
show one
Sure,
more example.
okay.
That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Gaurav.
Hi Sunil.
Yep.
Why they showed 4 weeks ago and 5 days ago?
This image is created in the sense it's not created, it was updated 5 days back.
Okay. Yeah.
This image was updated 4 weeks back. Okay.
Okay.
Clear, Gaurav?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. I have 2 questions, Gaurav.
Okay.
One question I have.
Hmm.
How many images we have downloaded?
2.
2 images. Sure.
Yes.
Okay. What is the command we have used to download the image? Yes, we have a Docker pull command
Yes.
using which we have downloaded. Now the actual question is,
Hmm.
from where you are getting your downloaded your image? We are downloading the image. That's important, isn't it, Gaurav?
Yeah.
Isn't it? From where the images are getting downloaded? That's first question you need to know. Second question, Gaurav, I want to have a question related to first image.
Hmm.
What is the command to download the first image? This is the command.
Docker pull Tom. Yes.
Okay. What is syntax of Docker pull command? What is the syntax of Docker pull command? The syntax is Docker pull
service name.
image name.
Image name. So,
Docker pull image name. So for Tomcat, the image name is
Tommy.
not Tomcat, it is Tommy.
Yes.
Whereas for Ubuntu, the image name is
Ubuntu.
Ubuntu only, isn't it?
Yes.
How to know the image names is important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so where we are downloading the images, how to know the image names. Okay, so let's have a discussion now. All the images are maintained by Docker community. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All the images are maintained by Docker community. That's nothing but hub.docker.com. It is also called as Docker registry. If anybody is discussing about Docker registry, it's nothing but hub.docker.com. All the images are available in what site, Anuj? Hub.docker.com. So when you run Docker pull command, actually that is getting downloaded from Docker Hub.
Is it free there?
It's free. It's called as Docker Hub. It is a Docker Hub. So first, what you have downloaded, Anuj?
Docker
first
image.
What you have downloaded? What image? Tommy is the name of the
Tommy.
image which I downloaded.
Image.
So if you want to get the Tomcat image, you have to search for Tomcat here. Okay. When you search for Tomcat here, you can see there are 36,000 images related to Tomcat.
Right.
Okay. Out of which the official images which Tomcat provides is the first one, Tomcat. The second, these two are official images. These are all the rest of the unofficial images. We can also create our own image. Got it, Anuj? Are
Right.
understanding? So I have some issues with the first image. So I have selected, this is Tomcat with Java. So here we have a Docker. Can you read this? Copy paste to
Pull this image.
pull image. What command? Docker pull Tomcat, Tommy.
Sunil,
Got it?
one thing that for example, in a development environment, the infrastructure guy spend multiple hours and
Correct.
they deployed
Configuring Tomcat, installing Tomcat.
everything. So is
Actually,
it possible to just compare it in a Docker image and give it to the developers and
that's
testers?
it. Practically, if you want to configure a Tomcat instance, it will take close to 8 hours of 9 hours to configure, install it from the scratch.
Right.
Whereas here, what we are doing it in two-step process. You're downloading the image and you're running the image. The Tomcat will be up and running. Okay. Okay. So
Okay.
providing infrastructure on demand. What is
No,
second?
can we create our own image? For example,
That's called customized image. Will be coming it learning its own. What
Okay.
second image we have downloaded Ubuntu. Let's say
Ubuntu.
client wants operating system. Okay. Let's say development team needs operating system as form of a container.
Right.
Operating system is also available as form of a container. So search for Ubuntu.
Can you
Search
search for
official-
AX?
Search for, look at this. Let me complete this. So this is the official operating system. Ubuntu has provided image for the Docker. So select this image. So can you read this? Docker pull?
Ubuntu.
So from where the images are getting downloaded, now you have the answer. The answer is Docker Hub. Okay.
Hub,
And
right.
how to get the Docker pull command? It is our responsibility to search for the required application, get the Docker pull command, and then run it so that the container gets created. Now, what are you talking about?
AX or Solaris, they are hardware dependent. Is it possible?
Solaris. Huh?
Solaris or AX, because they are hardware dependent. Sometimes I want to see that. Is it possible
Solaris
to get that?
64 Spark on CentOS. Okay, not dependent on CentOS. You have this pull command. If you want this Solaris 64 Spark on CentOS environment, you can get the Docker pull command and download it. Okay, clear?
Right.
Clear about this. So
Perfect.
everything on demand. Okay, don't try to experiment much. One of my past student, he was very excited by looking at these containers and creating infrastructure on demand. He has created some Hadoop environment. Okay, and then he got a bill of 6,500 next day. Okay, so he has created a very big EC2 machine, and he wants the Hadoop environment on by just running a couple of commands. He is successful, but he got a bill of 6,500. Okay?
No problem. Bill doesn't matter if the success we are getting success.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. So you have, I hope I have answered 2 questions from where the images are getting downloaded. I said that we use Docker pull command to download it. Now you know from the where the images are getting downloaded from the Docker Hub, and you know how to get the image name, and you need to write the
Perfect.
search for the right image, get the Docker pull command, and go ahead and run the Docker pull command in your Docker host. The image gets available. Okay. Next thing, what you need to do, obviously, my friends, we have to run the image. So when you run the image, the container gets created. That is, you are experiencing the live environment. Okay. Now, how to run the image, we'll see it in a tomorrow session.
But good thing is that developers has a stop hand. They need to come to either the DevOps team or the
Obviously,
operations team.
you're right. There's no other option. Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Sunil.
you. Thank you all. I hope you have enjoyed the session. See you tomorrow where we'll experience the containers. We have experienced the image and we have experienced the once you're done, please close your Docker client and then stop your machines. Okay, because I'll be using the same machine. So I'll be stopping the machine. So please make your Docker host environment up and running on your AWS account, and see you tomorrow. We'll run more about Docker. Thank you. Bye, everybody.